Dear God, if I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm lost, guide me. If I start to give up, keep me going. Amen.
Nollywood star Alexx Ekubo may be one of the most handsome celebrities in the film industry, but at the moment, the former Mr. Nigerian's reputation is far angelic as it used to be. Alexx Ekubo's public profile has been stained with mud after his ex-fiancée, Fancy Acholonu, wouldn't stop dragging him on social media for playing her. On January 5, 2022, the actor's sister, Ifeoma Ekubo, tried to save her brother's reputation during an interview with Obodo Oyinbo TV, debunking everything Fancy said about a relationship with Alexx, from cheating to celibacy until marriage, down to his questionable sexuality and the model and her family sponsoring the celebrity wedding. It looks like Fancy is not letting this slide. The model said she was under Alexx Ekubo's narcissistic spell for 5 good years, but is now free and unleashing her truth. In addition to hinting Alexx Ekubo swings both ways, Fancy has again hinted that the Nollywood fine boy may also be a gigolo. But regardless of the smear campaign, Alexx Ekubo has been spotted in public spending quality time with friends, especially his bestie, Ike Ogbonna. When we thought we'd seen it all, Alexx Ekubo's private conversation with Fancy after her apology post was released on social media. The Omogeto actor could be heard saying before he takes a step, he calculates his every move and doesn't hurriedly make mistakes.
So don't tell me before I make any move, I am a calculated person. I calculate everything I want to do. I don't hurriedly make mistake. So I am throwing it back to you. So don't now say, because as you said, oh, the post you showed me. Yes, you showed me what you were writing. And I said, okay, yes, this goes, this doesn't go, this goes. So I'm asking you now, Fancy, what would you want me to write under your post that would be okay for you?
It looks like Alexx Ekubo buried himself further in the mud with this audio evidence. But this is the point where we ask, does Alexx Ekubo need a miracle to repair his reputation at this point? Or will a damaged control system fix the messy situation?
Alexx, we decided to let God fight this battle for this boy because people have been calling him gay. This is a boy that everybody know that he is not gay. We don't have that in the family.
That's the problem.
Hello guys, it's Tico here for African Glitz.
Nigerians would say, "Soldier come, soldier go." But in the case of a Nigerian film star, Alexx Ekubo, and his fiancée, Fancy Acholonu, they have refused to move past an engagement that ended nearly 2 years ago. Talk more about leaving room for another person to capture their hearts. Just days before 2022 ended, the former lovers revived what Nigerians thought was a dead issue. Fancy dumped Alexx Ekubo, a fiancé of 3 months and boyfriend of 5 years, after oppressing single people with t-shirt that read, "Nothing makes sense when we are apart." Surprisingly, the US-based model didn't tell anyone what went wrong. But in the Instagram post where she broke the news, the Imo native wished the star actor happiness and urged him to start living in his truth, sparking rumors that he swings both ways behind closed doors. As we already know, Fancy said nothing after, and Alexx also said nothing after. In fans' minds, they had both moved on, only for the jeweler to break the internet on January 29, 2022 with an apology note to Alexx Ekubo. Begging that he takes her back, the model said nothing makes sense when she is apart from him, and she wished she was never ending things between them the way she did. 3 days after the actor refused to take her back, the beautiful model would make a U-turn saying he drafted the apology and manipulated her to share it online. Also angry that a 36-year-old star actor threw their friend under the bus in public, Fancy's friends released shocking chats between the model and the actor. In the leaked chat, it was discovered that Alexx Ekubo expected Fancy and her family to foot the bills for the expensive celebrity wedding he wanted. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The 29-year-old entrepreneur would later grant an interview with veteran journalist Stella Demokokos, where she revealed that Alexx didn't fancy her sexually and only wanted to use her to save his public reputation and kill speculations that he swings both ways. According to her, the actor refused to be intimate with her for the 5 years they dated, insisting that they be celibate until their wedding for religious reasons. Yet, Alexx was habitually cheating on her with curvy women. The model, who described the actor as a narcissist, also hinted that the actor indeed swings both ways. Since Fancy interview went viral and got many talking on social media, Alexx Ekubo has gone completely mute, not attempting to defend himself or say his own side of the story. However, his sister Ifeoma Ekubo decided to come to the rescue, debunking all that her brother's ex-fiancé said about him in a January 4th interview with Obodo Oyinbo TV.
Are you related to Alexx Ekubo?
Yes, please, you can see my last name. I'm Ifeoma Ekubo, and honestly, family didn't want us to talk. Nobody wants to talk, but this is really, really getting out of hand. I am so emotional right now.
Okay,
because
calm
this
down.
Fancy girl.
Calling Fancy a liar, Ifeoma reveals that Fancy and Alexx have in fact been intimate, contrary to what the model said about the actor forcing celibacy until marriage on her, while also insisting that her brother doesn't swing both ways. Ifeoma claims that the former couple had been sleeping together until December 2022. The star actor's sister then asked that if Fancy thinks her brother is gay, then why has she been begging the actor for a reconciliation? Ifeoma didn't stop here. She further debunked allegations that Fancy was carrying most of their wedding expenses and that Alexx Ekubo was also expecting her parents to sponsor the expensive celebrity wedding he wanted. The actor's sister said it's impossible for Fancy to be asked to carry the wedding expenses when the actor was funding her after she lost her job. Ifeoma claims Alexx put the model on a $500 monthly allowance and was paying her house rent. The actor's sister also hinted that Fancy's parents are not as wealthy as she has made everyone believe, stating that Fancy's dad is an Uber driver.
Fancy's dad is an Uber driver. Who says she's Fancy? Oh my God, this is, I don't even know. I am so mad. Like, we have had it up to here. This boy is going into depression because of what people are saying about him. Why is it that Fancy, do you know how many times Fancy called me to beg Alexx? I was one of the people that I was even fighting for Fancy. Alexx said no, that this girl is crazy. We don't know Fancy. You don't know Fancy.
Ifeoma, however, reveals that Alexx has been devastated by the allegation Fancy has made against him and what people have been saying about him on the internet. But being a very private person, he has decided not to react and let God fight his battles.
See, Fancy said her parents were supposed to pay for the wedding. Alexx pays Fancy $500 every month when Alexx was the one taking care of Fancy. She lost her job. Alexx was the one taking care of this girl, paying for her rent, feeding her. When they did the engagement, Alexx was in her house. They slept together that night. They've been sleeping together for God knows how long.
Barely 24 hours after Ifeoma Ekubo told her brother's side of the story, even though he disapproves, Fancy is now back to counter her in a second explosive interview with Stella Demokukos. But first of all, the model finally revealed why she dumped the actor. Fancy said Alexx Ekubo is extremely narcissistic and the charming good boy personality he shows fans in public is different from who he is behind closed doors. The 29-year-old model claimed he became verbally abusive and more controlling after they got engaged, to the point where he was close to being physical. She said, "Behind those smiles of our happy photos, he was always lying, cheating and gaslighting me. The day after we got engaged, it became worse. He then became more controlling and verbally abusive. We argued so much and it was close to becoming physical. I was scared of his rage." But Fancy said this was not what led to the breakup with Alexx Ekubo. Rather, his decision not to be intimate with her in the future and then asking her to sleep with other men after dating for 5 years was the straw that broke the camel back for her. But one major red flag that made me devastated was that he told me he won't sleep with me, but I should go and sleep with other men. Imagine telling that to your fiancé that has kept herself for 5 years for you. At that moment, I realized he didn't truly love me. It started going downhill from there. Emotional abuse, she told SDK. Fancy didn't stop here. She went on to debunk Alexx Ekubo's sister's claim that she and the actor were intimate during their 5 years relationship. According to the model, they were only intimate once, and that was in January of 2022 after they tried to amend the romance. The model narrated how she had vacationed in Nigeria during that period and was about to return to her base in Los Angeles, US, only for the film star's auntie to contact her and beg her to make peace with the Nollywood star. Fancy said she agreed and unblocked the actor, who then begged to see her before she traveled for the sake of closure. While meeting with Alexx, the 29-year-old entrepreneur revealed that he confessed some things to her and the atmosphere got emotional. One thing led to another and they got intimate for the first time. Shockingly, before she even landed in the US, Fancy said Alexx had already bragged to his friends and family that he slept with her. The 36-year-old actor also encouraged her to tell friends and family that he finally did the do. All the while, he kept pestering her about how he did when it came to lovemaking, and she liked that it was amazing just to protect him and his ego. Ouch. If you think you've heard it all, there is still more. Fancy narrated how the actor cheated on her with a foreign woman who offered to pay him to sleep with her. Like a gigolo? Maybe. Unfortunately, due to Alexx Ekubo's questionable sexuality, he could not even perform. I caught him cheating on me with a curvy foreign woman who even offered to pay him money for him to sleep with her. They spent the weekend in a hotel and she was so angry he couldn't perform with her, so she found out about me on Instagram and sent me screenshots of their chat exchange in which she called him names and questioned his sexuality. He apologized to me and said at least he didn't cheat technically because he was celibate with her. I was even disappointed he didn't sleep with her. To be honest, it would have at least validated some things for me, Fancy revealed. Also talking about the actor paying her rent and giving her a monthly allowance of $500 when she lost her job, the tall beauty confirmed that this is true. However, she said she didn't need the money because she got a better paying job in addition to her personal business and was generating 6 figures in a year. Despite this, the model took the money because she wanted to feel provided for by a man. As for the $500 a month from Alexx, for 12 months out of 5 years altogether, he provided that to me. I didn't even need it. I just wanted to finally feel provided for by him. I used the money to invest in stocks and teach him to grow our future family finances. Alexx was so impressed by the way I handled finances. The average rent in my neighborhood is $5,000 a month. I have never needed a man to support me financially because I'm a career-driven woman. I'll grow the money for both of us, she explained. Also talking about claims that her dad is an Uber driver, Fancy didn't confirm or debunk these wild claims by Alexx Ekubo's sister, but the model drummed it in her ears that her dad used to run the most successful transportation business in Nigeria back in the days before relocating to Los Angeles in the US, where all his kids were born and living comfortably. According to the jeweler, if her dad decides to do a side hustle in the same transportation business that made him rich, there is nothing wrong with that. She said, he's in his late 60s now, healthy and strong, so if he does Uber as a side hustle in the same transportation industry, he knows. I don't see how honest work is something to be laughed at by Alexx's family. It says a lot about them, trying to discredit me as I chose not to share family secrets about Alexx that is a bit messy. However, when asked why she considered taking the actor back, she claimed it was because he has a narcissistic personality. She then developed a traumatic bond with him, but they were not together when she shared the apology note on her page. She said, "With therapy and guardians, I now realize it was just a trauma bond. With all of the control he had over me, the silencing my voice and withholding affection, it made me long for the pot of gold at the end of the tunnel with him, but at the end of the day, it was just a mirage. Nothing was real. Everything was fake. We had history together and I wasn't strong enough to let go. He wanted me back badly too, but this whole thing was toxic." Interestingly, just hours after this interview went live, a phone conversation between Alexx and Fancy found its way to the internet. In the phone conversation, the lovers were arguing about Alexx's short response to Fancy's apology post. Again, it confirms the model's claim that Alexx Ekubo drafted the apology and manipulated her to post it on her page.
I'll be back again to now say there's nothing. So I repeat again for the third and last time. What exactly would you want me? Because you have a way of saying this, and which you said, which is true. So don't tell me there's something you're expecting to hear. If you're not, take your time and think about it. So don't tell me before I make any move, I am a calculated person. I calculate everything I want to do. I don't hurriedly make mistake. So I am throwing it back to you. So don't now say, because as you said, oh, the post you showed me. Yes, you showed me what you were writing. And I said, okay, yes, this goes, this doesn't go, this goes. So I'm asking you now, Fancy, what would you want me to write under your post that would be okay for you? And if you tell me, oh, this is it, and it's okay for me, and I still take my time to think about it, then I go ahead. I don't know how long you intend to leave that post there. It can be deleted in the next second, can be deleted in an hour, and that's it. But I'm not going to do any post on my page about this. If I'm going to acknowledge or whatever, it's going to be under your post. So I ask you again, if you need time out to go and think about it, go and think. You're a human being. You have a brain. You can think and process. Say,
Alex, are you happy with the post?
Fancy, please, I don't want back and forth. Okay, please. We've
It's a simple question.
We've been through. I'm
No,
not
you
happy.
could have said
Fancy,
yes or no.
No, I am not. I am not. This whole
Not
thing,
happy.
I am not happy about it.
You're not
This
happy about it.
This whole everything that we are here. I'm not just sitting at home as well, getting you to go out there, do a post like it's fun for me. I'm the one also being dragged in this as well.
So, with so many strikes on Alexx Ekubo that is fast ruining his public image and reputation, we have to ask again if the actor needs a miracle to repair his reputation, or will a damaged control system fix the messy situation? Or, like his sister said, do you think the former Mr. Nigeria will continue to stay silent and let God fight his battles?
Posting that thing, Alex did not say, okay, Fancy, come back, let's get married together. Everybody's telling him to stand up and just say one or two things, and that's it. And Alex is like, no, God is gonna fight my battle. The way Fancy came back and started begging, she will come back again to come and beg again, and the whole world will see.
Finally, many are attaching Fancy Acholonu with the phrase, "Hell has no fury like a woman scorned." Do you agree?
Share your opinion in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please comment, like and share. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified every time I upload a new video so that you don't miss out. Thanks for watching and see you on our next one.